I just want to say to all of you guys, find purpose in your lives, find meaning in your lives, and fulfillment beyond relationships. It's my personal opinion. I want to make this point for all of the people out there that are struggling. It's my personal opinion that you should be fulfilled in yourself and find joy and happiness in your own life and completeness as a person before you get into a relationship, so that you are not emotionally dependent on the validation of that person that you're in a relationship with. There are a lot of people out there like that who become suicidally depressed after a breakup.
It's an unhealthy attachment too.
It is. You have to find fulfillment in yourself as a person outside of the relationship.
And even if you're not fulfilled, just don't kill yourself, because you matter. Thank you. We love you.
Can I say something to this point? It's that we're arguing about, like, it started with, do women have an easier time dating than men? And fundamentally, men are, like, this is going to sound, you know, like kind of silly, but like fundamentally men, they are the ones that like go and they like penetrate the dating world, and women are the ones that look at all of their options.
You're too far from the mic.
And they receive, right? So as a man, if you're a man and you're having struggling dating, it is entirely your fault. It is 100% on you, and it's okay if
disagree.
What I will say is, if you're struggling dating, it is a reflection of something that's happening in your personal life that can be improved upon. There's a lot of guys out there who are black-pilled on their options and the fact that women don't want them. And what I would say to every man in that position, if you work on yourself and you work on building your confidence as an individual, like the girls earlier in the discussion said, you can give off that tall man energy. You can become very attractive despite not being conventionally physically attractive. If you build your confidence, you build your energy, you build your value as a man. That is something that every guy should be working on so that they can be more successful dating. And it's something that is within every man's grasp.
I disagree that it's 100% a man's fault if he's struggling when it comes to dating. I mean,
there are other factors.
There's 100%. I mean, feminism is one of them.
Feminism.
Feminism is one of them, because I mean, the way men used to make themselves attractive was by being providers. That's no longer good enough. So men are struggling to find, I suppose, a meaning or purpose in their life, because it used to be, go provide for your family. If you're a provider, you'll find a woman, you'll take care of her, single income household, you'll be the sole breadwinner. That's how it used to be. However, now because of feminism, and I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. However, it's perhaps an unintended consequence of basically doubling the labor pool. And there's articles about this, of women saying that they're not able to find economically attractive partners. And men are not appealing partners from an economic and financial sense. So that's the chief way that a lot of men made themselves attractive was, hey, just get a job, there'll be a woman for it. Hold on, let me just finish. Also, you have a globalized sexual marketplace. So you have dating apps, social media. You have dating apps, social media, internet, Instagram. So hold on. Can you guys not talk while I'm talking, please? Okay. So you have globalized sexual marketplace, where in the past, a woman used to have, if she lived in Idaho, her pool of partners was in her city in Idaho. Now a woman can hop on Instagram, hop on a dating app, match with people within a 100-mile radius. She can get DMs. Guys don't get DMs like this. She can get DM by NFL players. She can get DM by this guy, this music producer, this actor, this famous athlete, whatever it may be. They'll fly her out to Miami. They'll fly her to Vegas. They'll fly her to LA. They'll fly her to Dubai. So you basically have women who have basically mind-boggling amount of options, whereas even an average woman, you guys said even a woman with 2,000 followers on Instagram has these blue check marks in her DMs. So women have such an insanely disproportionate amount of options, which they can now exercise on, let's say, and men simply don't have that. And so men are, last thing. So also with the dating apps, it's purely physical, and the data has been out there for years now. Women swipe on like less than 10% of guys. Women are all chasing after the same 10% of men on dating apps. Women already did that before dating apps, you know, like hypergamy, women would be chasing after the best guys at college, the best guys here, the best guys there. But now with digital, now with Instagram, now with dating apps, it's like hyper insane. So basically you have a much higher proportion of men who are getting zeroed out, who have no options, who are just like normal average dudes. Some of them between, say, normal, average to like even good looking dudes are getting zeroed out because they're all chasing after these top percentage of men.
Yes.
So for that reason, it's really not men's fault, I think.
Okay. I hear you. Women have overinflated egos after downloading apps. With the advent of social media and dudes sliding into their DMs, they see, wow, I'm really actually a hot girl that's worth this much. You have to look at, are they getting fulfilling relationships?
No.
They're probably just getting smashed and passed. But with that being said, my point still stands, and I stand by it, that if you're a man, you don't have any time to sit around and say, woe is me, pity me, because you're not getting dates because of whatever reason. Like, as a man, you need to go out and fuck the world. Yeah. You need to go out and like make yourself the best possible man that you can be from wherever you're starting. And I understand that it's hard, but if you sit around and complain and focus on all the negative reasons why you can't get a date, then you are going to continue to see that show up in your life rather than going into Trader Joe's and looking confused, which is what you should be doing. You should try and improve upon yourself. And my point was simply that as a man, a lot of guys just aren't putting in the work. And myself included in the past, like there are times when I get lazy and when I become complacent and when I'm not doing the things that I need to be doing. And when I'm completely on top of my stuff, like women, they just come into my life naturally. Yeah. And my advice to any men is that there's hope. Like you evaluate yourself realistically and do the best that you can do, because that's your only option. There's no option to just sit around and complain that dating has become harder because women's egos are inflated by social media and by dating apps, even though that's true.
Martin donated $200.
Thank you, Marquavius. Appreciate it.
I'm bringing in the money today.
You're on a roll already.
As I can. I'll fly you home for the holidays so you can breathe in the loving arms of your family. And in a matter of years, you'll barely think of me every day. Kiko, be less narcissistic.
I love being a narcissist. But that's the thing. You talked about his girlfriend in the last one. You don't have a girlfriend. I will guarantee right now you don't. And if she did, if you do, she should slap the fuck out of you for spending $600 so far on this podcast. Like, I'm sure you don't. Like,
getting some money by her red bottoms.
Yeah, like get your girlfriend a new bag or something.
Objection.
Don't send
Overruled.
it to the show. Send it to me. No,
send it to my cash app.
Send it to me.
Marquavius is a stud.
Send it to the cat shelter.
Marquavius is a legend.
Just to finish my point, you can't allow yourself as a man to have excuses. Yeah. You cannot allow yourself to have excuses for why you can't go and find a date, because then you're just not going to go out and find a date. The odds are that these men, they're probably lacking in something. They're probably not interesting. They're probably lack conversation skills. I like to believe that there's a small majority of men that have really committed themselves to improving upon themselves as best as they possibly can in their financial life, in their social life, in their physical fitness, and still aren't getting even a single date with women. And if that's true, you have to look at yourself realistically. You have to rate yourself out of 10 and say, look, I'm 5'8", therefore I'm a 7.
Sam, I raised you this question. Do you think that's really only a male thing, or do you think that's a society thing, that people are just lazier these days in a sense? And like, is that only men that aren't pushing themselves to be the best of themselves? Because I think that message could apply to every single person.
That's a really, really good point, Deborah, because women, and to Brian's point, that women have overinflated egos because of social media and because of the apps. They're not putting in any effort, right? They're not creating a personality for themselves.
I know girls who just swipe through Hinge and they're like, okay, I'm down. Yeah. I'm like, but what's the point of wasting? This is a little bit larger thing, but I don't understand the point of like wasting time. I've personally never gone on a date with somebody from an app. I have a hard time connecting. Like if meeting somebody on an app, I could never imagine myself meeting them in real life. It's very important for me to meet people in person, sense their energy. But I know friends who just like do it for funs. And I feel like, do you agree or disagree that at a certain point, if you're just dating to date in a way, like you're not being selective, is that more harmful or helpful to your long-term goal?
Certainly harmful, especially for women. A lot of women waste their 20s just hooking up with all the chads.
Yeah.
And then their 30s come around and they're like, yo, I want to settle down with a good guy. But it's like, yo, the good guys that you would want to settle down with, they're not interested in a woman who wasted her 20s just hooking up with all the guys. They want oftentimes a younger woman with less baggage. To your point a second ago too, I think one of the reasons why a lot of people are frustrated with the dating world is because a lot of people aren't bringing much to the table, guys and women included, right? There's a lot of women out there, all they're bringing to the table is their body and their time, right? They wouldn't necessarily make a great wife or a great girlfriend. And to your guys' points before about men, like there's a lot of men out there who, you know, like Sam was saying, they're making excuses for themselves and they're not like working hard on themselves to build their value as men, right? And to all of the guys out there, like there's a lot of black-pilled dudes out there. Every man has it within his capacity to work on his career. And yes, there's a lot of feminists out there that like, you know, they're rejecting like, I don't want a male provider, but every man has it within his capacity to work on his career, to get in the gym and to, like Sam does, practice a martial art. And when guys do these things, it builds your energy and your confidence so much. When you build your value as a man, every guy has it within his capacity to do those things, and it changes the way women look at you. And guys should be doing that.
Yes, amen, man.
Can I ask you a question though?
Real quick, can I respond to Deborah's point? I think that, you know, like you were saying, women, they need to improve upon themselves too, and maybe they're lacking social skills too, or whatever they need to succeed in the dating world. And that is because they're getting validation from the apps. Yes. If you're on the apps and you're a woman, I've been on the apps, I'm not afraid to admit it. A lot of women just don't respond, or you know, it's like, why did you like my profile if you don't want to go out on a date with me? Yeah, like I'm selective about the women that I swipe on. I don't just look at them for their body or whatever. I actually am looking at, you know, could we be a potential match? And when I swipe on them, I'd like to take them out to coffee and see, like, meet them for an hour and see if we're actually going to click. Because like I said previously, my energy is different online than it is in person when you're looking into my eyes. And as a man, you need to go and do that. And so, but as a woman, you make a good point. Women are getting too much validation from the apps. They go and they swipe and they're like, yeah, I'm wanted and loved, and then they do nothing. Right? They don't improve upon themselves.
You say that women need to self-improve. You're not wrong. However, the difference is that women need not self-improve to get laid, to get a partner, to get a boyfriend. Yeah. That's why it's just so fucking easy for women.
My response to that would be that there is no fulfillment in hookup culture. There is no fulfillment in just fucking someone. Trust me, I've done it. It's not fulfilling. It's not something that I want. Once you do it, you might think you're hot. You might feel better. You might have a little bit more confidence for the next person. But it is completely a waste of your time and your money. And especially if you're a young woman, you don't have time. You need to find the guy now. Like if you're in your 20s, you need to find, and you are serious about wanting to get married, you need to start getting really serious about the person that you're dating and the time that you're spending.
And I want to add a caveat on that, because I've spoken with a lot of women recently who are in their like late 20s, early 30s, who feel like they have no value because they're in their late 20s and early 30s. I know dudes in their 30s that are looking for you women. Don't think that you don't have any value because you haven't found a guy by the time you're in your late 20s. However, Sam's point is still correct in the sense that it is a bad idea to waste your 20s just having fun and then hope to settle down with the best guy possible in your early 30s. Like that is a bad idea. And a lot of women, you know, I've got a lot of friends from high school. They fall into that trap. They think they can just bang all the chads through their 20s and then settle down in their late 20s, early 30s. Doesn't work like that, ladies. But that's to say, women in your late 20s and early 30s, you are not valueless.